Thank you, Mr Speaker. I wish to rise today to make a short contribution on the piece of legislation that is, or the bill that's before the House this afternoon, and following the contribution from my fellow member, the member for Franklin, who commented about our visit to one of Tasmania's iconic businesses, Boags Brewery. He has taken some of the contributions that I'd like to make, but I think it's important, and if I reflect back on one of my earliest moments in public life when I first got elected to the City of Launceston, and we were considering at the time whether we would implement curbside recycling. The conversation then was about container deposit schemes nationally, and I remember having robust conversations within our council and with community about what is the best way to manage materials in the community, and is implementing our curbside recycling better, or is advocating to be part of a national scheme the right decision. And so right back over the last 20 years, this has been a conversation that's been high of mind, where we think about waste management, material recovery, where we think about the impacts of materials in our environment, when we look at reducing litter and increasing the rates of recycling. So it's something that I've been familiar with a long time, and as a proud resident of Launceston, been mindful of the types of businesses like Boags Brewery, the contribution that they make to our community, but the importance of us, and particularly as me as the Shadow Minister for Small Business, the importance of us to consider always the decisions that we make and the impacts that it has on the viability of these traditional, long-held, iconic businesses in Tasmania. So there's no doubt Tasmanian Labor and I personally support the introduction of a container deposit scheme into Tasmania. The question is, what is the right scheme and what's going to make the greatest impact to the Tasmanian environment and the Tasmanian economy? What's going to support Tasmanian businesses, and also what's going to support Tasmanians and Tasmanian families? What is going to provide for the greatest recovery of resource, and what is going to provide for the greatest opportunity for jobs and for return into our community? There's been talk about a range of submissions, both positive and concerning in regards to the government's position on this, and I think it is important for all of those matters to be considered to ensure that, as many members have said, the decision we take now that will be implemented for the long term, given the significant investment and the logistics of actually implementing, have been fully considered and will be implemented to support Tasmanians and Tasmania in the best way possible. So I rise this afternoon to support that we should implement a scheme, but have strong regard for and concern about many matters that have been raised in the submissions, that I don't feel the government's position on the scheme that they're suggesting actually does recognise the greatest opportunity for material recovery. I don't think it does provide the greatest opportunity for jobs within Tasmania with this, the greatest opportunities for the outcomes of our community, and as the member for Bass, completely committed to the businesses in our area, I am concerned for, in particular, the iconic businesses like Boags Brewery in Launceston, that any fundamental shift in the financial viability of their operations risks people in Launceston that are doing traditional jobs that are really important, and providing a sense of pride for our locals, an opportunity for people that are employed there, and continue to deliver right in the heart of the city a great industrial operation that we can all see and understand. So when we're considering this, it needs to be considered on all layers. There is no doubt that the container deposit scheme needs to be implemented. There are concerns with the model that the government's representing, and I think it needs to be fully interrogated. Thank you.